I have a question for you. Do you believe in miracles? When something good happens, are you the sort of person that goes, phew, that was lucky, or we dodged a bullet there? Or do you in fact say, now that was a miracle? I'd like to tell you about something that happened to me recently, a few weeks ago, that I like to think was a miracle. Now, I need to introduce you to my cat for you to appreciate this story, I think. This is Rafiki. Now, as you can see, he's quite a large cat. The vets call him fat, but I just think he's big boned. But anyway, my miracle involves Rafiki. It was the day before we were off on holiday to Scotland, and I was in Winchester for a service at the cathedral, and suddenly I decided that I would go home earlier than planned. When I got home, Brian asked if I would cut his hair. So we went out onto the patio, and that's where I found myself on a cold October day cutting Brian's hair. Suddenly I heard a funny noise. I paused my hairdressing commitments and said I wanted to go and check what the noise was. I went down to the river at the bottom of the garden and I saw some ducks swimming away. But then I heard the noise again. And it was a kind of like a scrabbling noise. And I looked a bit closer, and to my horror, I saw that Rafiki had fallen in the river and was under our bridge, completely submerged except for his head. And he was trying to claw himself up on a piece of wood. But because of his weight, he actually wasn't getting very far. And I suspect he didn't actually have very long to go before he would have had to let go and would have probably drowned. Naturally, we all rushed into action. Brian jumped in the river and we managed to get Rafiki out. And he lives to tell the tale. So, was this a miracle? Or was it just a series of lucky decisions that resulted in me being in the garden at the right time to save my cat? Well, of course, we won't ever know. But I think this makes me think about how we consider the good things that happen in our lives. I have a 97-year-old dad who lives on his own and who makes me smile regularly with his daily explanations of what has happened to him that day and the Jesus moments where he feels that Jesus has looked after him, maybe with preventing a near fall or remembering to do something or finding a missing piece of his puzzle. Dad happily tells me these are all his Jesus moments of the day. He's thankful and he's happy with these small wins in his life, these moments where he feels he has been looked after by his God. Now, of course, this may sound strange to a lot of people. Surely my dad finding a missing piece of puzzle is not divine intervention. Surely me being in the garden at the right time to save Rafiki is not a miracle. But I want to suggest, why not? What is wrong with looking through miracle-tinted glasses? What's wrong with seeing your life as full of miracles? Because if we do that, then instead of saying, phew, that was close, I was lucky, we're more likely to say, thank you, God. And being thankful for the little wins, like my dad is, I think is a good way to live. Because life is so often hard. Life is so often sad and bad, and it becomes hard to see through the bad stuff and recognise the good stuff. So I wonder if I can ask you to do something this week. I wonder if I can ask you to look out for miracles. When something good happens, when you find yourself smiling or amazed or just relieved at something, I wonder if you could put on your miracle-tinted glasses and try to think of what has just happened to you as a small miracle, a little Jesus moment that helps you feel loved and cared for by our God. And if you're able to do that, maybe you'd like to tell us about it. You could comment below, share the good news. Because maybe, just maybe, if we live as if our life is full of little miracles, our life will be full of little miracles. Thank you for listening.